You are with the big story here. I'm Seher Zama. We're making a start and getting you details in India bracing up in barely after a fortnight for yet another cyclone, which is expected to develop into a severe cyclonic storm in the coming 24 hours. But this is going to be in the other coast, the west side of the coast of India here. Two states, Maharashtra and Gujarat, are now bracing up. This is Cyclone Nisarga, and the deep depression over the Arabian Sea about 300 kilometers southwest of Panjim in Goa. This is likely to intensify now into a severe cyclonic storm in the coming 24 hours. What's more, for the worst affected city of Mumbai here, it is to brace up for its first ever severe cyclonic storm. The depression will cross the coasts of North Maharashtra and South Gujarat. Gujarat has already evacuated people who are living in low-lying areas. We're getting you details in some of the, which have in fact been marked as the worst affected to be impacted by this cyclone. Kelva Bridge, which connects at least 30 villages to Palghar. Remember, Palghar, along with Mumbai, Thane, has been identified to be the worst affected in this cyclonic storm. The NDRF teams have conducted a survey earlier today. The condition of the bridge ahead of the cyclone making a landfall tomorrow. Now, they say preparations that have been made for rescue operations in case the bridge fails, in case the bridge gets damaged, on how to reach out to people in Palghar. Those preparations are in place as well, apart from some evacuations, not all. Our correspondent Santya sending us this ground report from there.
Right now, we are at the Kelva Bridge. This is Kelva Bridge where the NDRF team is here, and the team is actually conducting a survey. Now, talking about the significance of this bridge actually connects the villages on the Kelva beach, which is that part of the camera. This bridge connects Kelva beach bridges to the main Palghar city. Now, why exactly this bridge is significant and why exactly it's absolutely important to ensure that the damage, if there is any damage to the bridge, what kind of options will be there? Let me first try and speak to the circle officer, Mr. Raju Patil of Palghar. Sir, I would like to know from you, what's the significance of this bridge, and if flooding happens here, or any kind of damage is there to this bridge, or what kind of problems it will create for the people?
Sir, madam, this bridge is connected to the Edwan, Usarni villages are situated Kelva beach area. Suppose this bridge will be damaged, no, so it will be very problem to move the public to in a safe area. It is a very dangerous place. Okay, because I guess if there will be any problem to the bridge, the rescue forces won't be also able to go to that side. No, they will trouble to they have to use the boat and their convenient equipments to travel to the public.
So how many villages are connected to the Palghar city via this bridge, sir?
In that area, maximum 10 to 15 villages are there. In this area, 20-25 villages are connected in that bridge.
Okay, so if anything happens to this village, more than 30 villages can get affected. Now, let me also try and bring Inspector of NDRF team, Mr. Akhilesh Jaina. Sir, आपसे बात करके जानना चाहेंगे. I would like to know from you that if any damage happens to this bridge or the flooding happens, what kind of option NDRF has to ensure that people can be evacuated from that path?
5th Battalion NDRF, Team 5A, present here with 3 IRB boats. If in case the damage is in the bridges, we evacuate public through our IRB. Okay.
So even if there is anything goes wrong with the bridge, we have the preparations to ensure that the people do not get affected.
जैसे कि आप देख रहे हैं, ये ब्रिज जो है केलवा और पालघर के बीच में एक जॉइंट का काम करता है. ये एक ऐसा ब्रिज है, अगर इसके ऊपर किसी भी प्रकार का इम्पैक्ट पड़ता है साइक्लोन निसर्ग का, तो पब्लिक जो है केलवा अवसर ये जो कुछ एरिया है, उस एरिया के पब्लिक जो है विच्छिन्न हो जाते हैं. तो उनको हम एवैक्यूएट करना है. तो एवैक्यूएट करने के लिए हमें बोट्स की ज़रूरत पड़ता है. तो बोट के माध्यम से हम पब्लिक को एवैक्यूएट करेंगे अगर इस ब्रिज का डैमेज होता है.
So that's the significance of this bridge, and this is the plan of NDRF. This is Kelwa Beach Bridge, and this bridge is actually responsible for the connectivity of around 30 villages with the main Palghar city. That's what the circle officer of the area told us right now. The team is now going to move ahead to the villages on the Kelwa beach and will conduct a survey that how many people have to be evacuated from there.
And this time, Mumbai has been sent out this warning as well to prepare for the severe cyclone. The first severe cyclonic storm that Mumbai is directly going to be impacted by. And remember, Mumbai already facing heavy number of COVID cases, more than 40,000 positive cases in the city already. But the huge concern for this cyclone being that the low-lying areas in Mumbai are also the worst affected by the pandemic. 3 NDRF teams that have been deployed in Mumbai. This is close to 11 response teams that have been stationed at various fire stations in Mumbai as well. There are nearly 90 lifeguards, life-saving equipment there stationed. The BMC chief also sending out an instruction to all officials now in more specific details. This is from the 24 divisional offices to identify potentially hazardous settlements in the divisions as well as low-lying settlements. Remember, evacuation process, which has also become all the more challenging for the nature of cramped low-lying areas that we're looking at, which are also the worst affected by the pandemic. The BMC further adds here, they've already sanitized, sprayed insecticides over 1 lakh premises, including those where COVID positive cases have been detected.
One such location where we are standing is Mahim's Koliwada area, which is home to approximately 30,000 people. And we can see along the seashore, on the edge, there are houses here. People reside here. And this is, of course, going to be risky, is what the BMC is predicting at this point in time, because most of these houses that you see are the Kacha houses. So with extremely heavy rainfall, with cyclonic storm effect, these houses might cause danger. It's not only one side of the seashore. If we move a bit ahead, I would want to show you there are houses in the other side as well. And most of these are the Kacha houses, is what we are being told, the ones that are actually built on the edge of the seashore. So now BMC is planning to actually survey such locations. They are also identifying such locations, and they will evacuate and shift people to either nearby municipal schools or shelter homes for their safety purposes. So that's the first step that the BMC has taken. Secondly, what we know that there are about 3 NDRF teams that have been put on standby here, specifically in the city of Mumbai, for any untoward situation. Third, there are 90 life-saving guards deployed and stationed at the beaches here in Mumbai. Lastly, important advisories as far as coming out from the BMC, not to venture out, specifically going close to the seashore or the beaches in the city of Mumbai, not to stand under a tree or a pole, because the cyclonic storm or the wind, of course, could prove it to be a little bit risky and dangerous. And secondly, not to believe in any such rumors. So all of these are the advisories that the BMC has really put forth on the ground level.
Ahead of the landfall there, which is dated for tomorrow, 3rd of June, Indian Coast Guard teams are trying to contact boats that they're spotting at the Arabian Sea. This is despite orders that have already been given to not be out at the shore there, to bring them back to the shore. Listen in to the appeal that has now been issued once again to them.
मच्छी बोट कमाल वाहते तटरक्षक कादून सूचित करत येत आहे समुद्राबादल येण्याची शक्यता आहे. नुस्तेकारांनो तुमका लागून एक सूचित असा. भारतीय तटरक्षकाकडल्यान खूप पाऊस आणि वातावरण पिट्यावर जावचा असा. बेगिना बेगीन किनाऱ्याकडे वचा. बेगिना बेगीन लागीच्या लागी.
Mirona has spoken to Mumbai's Guardian Minister Aslam Sheikh. He has now further assured to the city that there is preparedness for the approaching cyclonic storm. Minister saying low-lying areas that have been identified. Electricity department now that has been put on high alert as well. Take a listen in. He's speaking to our deputy news editor Mayuresh.
Since morning, we had a meeting with the commissioners, with the collectors, and all the concerns, top officers. All prevention has been taken. We have set up a team with the BMC disaster cell. We have set up the fire brigade. We have made a team of collector and tehsildars. If anything happens, who has to do what action has to be taken. We have identified all the low-lying areas. If water becomes more, how they can be shifted to nearby schools or nearby clubs and all big facilities which we have already been considering for the quarantine and all, which has been kept idle. So all the measures what is supposed to be taken, since the COVID cases are also high, so we have taken every step, whatever best administration can take, that has been considered in this.
In the morning session, the rain is also expected. There is a high tide somewhere around 9:30, 9:50. So considering that, what other preparations we have done? As you said, you have identified the low-lying spots. How many low-lying spots are there, and how many people we may evacuate from these low-lying spots if rain starts continuing?
See, it is a benchmark for Mumbai city because every year we have identified the low-lying area. There are some near the railway stations. There are some areas which are in saucerways. So all the time we keep our generator pump over there. So with pump, we just suck out the water from there. And in these cases also, I told you that we have already identified big places, the big clubs and also where we can, if needed, we can shift over there. And simultaneously, since you know, the electricity might also get damaged and a lot of things can happen. So we have made a provision for all the hospitals in Mumbai where COVID or non-COVID patients have been treated. We have told the concerned electricity department like Adani and BST, all these officers are going to be posted near the hospital. Simultaneously, we have put the generators over there because people are in ICU and generators. So these all measures have been taken, and we have specially hired more people from the army and other people also. So if anything is needed, like a lot of trees are going to get fall and all, so it happens something. So that all precautionary measures has been taken so that nothing can happen more, like where the condition becomes and it goes out of control.
Please stay on with us. This is a crucial time from Mumbai and other adjoining cities. We'll get you more updates concerning Cyclone Nisarga. Preparedness on ground, evacuation that has been done, all the details. Please stay on with us here. Thanks for staying on with us. We'll be getting in breaking inputs here. Remember, we're continuing to keep the focus in the build-up here to Cyclone Nisarga. But other news here coming in regarding a very tragic suicide case. A class 10 student has committed suicide in Mallapuram, which is in Kerala. The student was from a poor family, upset over not being able to attend online classes of his school, which had begun on Monday. The burnt body of the student here, which was found 200 meters away from her home. Empty kerosene bottle, a suicide note that has also been found right next to the body. Very painful news here coming in this attempt to suicide, in this suicide case. In fact, self-immolation. This is very harsh and tragic that's coming in. We have with us our correspondent Vivek getting us more details here. Vivek, of course, a school has been a challenge even where online classes are an option. That also tends to be a challenge with this case in point now indicating how stressed the poor student was here. Yes, Vivek, is my voice going through, please? Can you get us more details on this very tragic case that's come in here?
Exactly. See, this particular tragic incident took place yesterday in a place called Valancheri, where Devika, a student of GHS school in Venilim, committed suicide. The reason what her parents cite is that she was not able to attend the online classes that was supposed to begin at 8 o'clock yesterday. And, what they cite is that, there was no internet connection and there was no power in the morning itself, right from 8 o'clock in the morning. This actually had, caused her a lot of mental trauma. She was worried. She was really, agonized because of which, she was missing for quite some time in the evening. When she was found missing, they saw her in the nearby area, which is around 200 meters away from where they are staying. Her body was found, and she was found dead. Now, also a suicide letter, was written and kept next to her body, saying that I am leaving from this world. Now, which clearly says that she has committed suicide. We don't know whether this was the only reason why she committed suicide, whether there was any other internal issue, whether there was any family issue, something which was bothering her. But police says is that they don't find anything unnatural in this. There was no signs of murder, something. It is a suicide. But indeed, this is a very, very shocking incident, because in a state which is 100% literate, and when the government says that most of the houses, they do have internet connection, and especially in the villages and hilly areas, and most of them were able to access internet, that this kind of incident that was happening in Malappuram is something really shocking. That even after we are 100% literate and we have internet connection almost in every places in Kerala, that this kind of incident clearly shows that still there are places where such facilities are lacking, and it's not just academic support which a student needs, even moral support from her parents and her teachers at this point of time to overcome these kind of stressful mindsets. Especially, remember, it's after 2 months of lockdown that students are attending the classes, and they are not going to their schools. Usually on the 1st of June, we find thousands of students going into schools and school bands and walking to these schools. There used to be a lot of functions that used to be held. But this time around, all these things were not there. It's all inside the house where, they are asked to, log into the systems or a TV using various technology like Zoom and other things. But there was many complaints yesterday itself, which was raised from various villages and, places like Wayanad, Idukki, where internet speed is very less. Now that, they were not able to access the internet, there were complaints. But this particular incident where, the student was forced to commit suicide is something that, that has to be bothering the teachers and the parents, because they need to...
Yes, in an absolute tragic extreme here that comes in as a shocker as well. That's right. Vivek, thank you for getting us those inputs here. Very painful report coming in from Kerala. Prime Minister Modi earlier today in an address with an assurance that India will bounce back. India will get back its economic growth soon. He said this while addressing India Inc. This was in marking 125th anniversary of the CII. The Prime Minister here said that the lockdown was needed. Remember, the lockdown that has been an absolute deathly blow to the economy. But Prime Minister here reiterating that this was a requirement, it was needed to curb the rise in the number of COVID cases across the country. But once again, in that assurance that the government's highest priority now is to revive the economy, adding that the country needs to take stern steps now, not just to fight the virus, but also to restart, to kickstart the economy. Take a listen in.
मुझे भारत की कैपेबिलिटीज और क्राइसिस मैनेजमेंट पर बहुत भरोसा है। मुझे भारत के टैलेंट और टेक्नोलॉजी पर भरोसा है। मुझे भारत के इनोवेशन और इंटेलेक्ट पर भरोसा है। मुझे भारत के फार्मर्स, एसएमईज, एंटरप्रेन्योर्स पर भरोसा है। साथियों, कोरोना ने हमारी स्पीड जितनी भी धीमी की हो, लेकिन आज देश की सबसे बड़ी सच्चाई यही है कि भारत लॉकडाउन को पीछे छोड़कर अनलॉक फेज 1 में एंटर कर चुका है।
Let's now get you an update here that's coming in from Bengaluru. Parents of school-going children in the city have started an online petition, and this is regarding their concern in opposing possible reopening of schools in the city in the month of July, which is just 1 month ahead here. Karnataka government is looking at that option. No decision, no final decision yet, but the parents already wary and not in favor of that possibility. Concerned parents here saying that schools should reopen only after a vaccine is available. So far, they're happy to make do with online classes. School managements in Bengaluru here believe it is crucial to reopen schools. They will follow the centre's guidelines on whatever is instructed with this reopening.
Also, I am against reopening of school from July. As you know, coronavirus affects our respiratory system, and it is a well-known fact that children are more prone to get affected.
It is extremely hard for the school to maintain social distancing and safety operating plan in the campus. The classrooms are all clustered with 30+ seats, and maintaining social distancing norms means just 14 or 15 seats in a classroom, and that's going to be highly impossible.
Our correspondent Neha Hebale has spoken to Karnataka's Education Minister, Mr. Suresh Kumar. The minister here revealed while no final decision is taken, these are the options that are being considered, with the government asking school managements now to consult parents over this issue before their final decision.
We have not taken any decision as of now. So we are giving directions to all the BOs to hold parents meeting in each school.
Okay.
To collect their opinion.
Okay.
And to send all that opinion to the commissioner.
Let's get in further details. Our correspondent Neha is getting us those inputs here. Neha, this assurance that's coming from the minister you just had in a word with, saying that parents are going to be consulted with. This is only after an online petition was started. So evidently parents were very nervous that the government could take this decision without taking into account concerns of students and parents alike.
Well, that's absolutely correct. The concern is, it's imperative for us to remember that several parents of the country have been very wary, have been very scared sending their children to school since the COVID-19 pandemic broke out. And even now, the larger concern of many parents remains the fact that in, public spaces, even in the school premises, such as the cafeteria, such as, the playgrounds, the sports rooms, or the laboratories, no matter where these kids will have to interact with each other. Places like these still remain a major cause of concern, and trying to put any amount of restrictions on the students from mingling with each other or with their peers will ultimately, only of course go on to be a very futile exercise. So at this point in time, yes, the government of Karnataka has not taken a decision on the reopening of schools, but what we're understanding is that, they are open to consultations with the parents. By June 12th, all the parents will have to hold meetings, all the schools will have to hold meetings with the parents, following which a decision would then be taken on the reopening of the schools. All suggestions that would be pulled and handed over to the education department.
Right. Okay, so a lot of these suggestions now are going to be taken into account. Some assurance here to pacify parents and students alike. Neha, thank you for getting us those inputs. With that, it's a wrap on the show, but let's leave you behind with this very quick reminder on a significant moment, on a significant upcoming event. This is Times Evoke. It is a unique initiative to be precise. It's an initiative of Print and Digital by the Times Group. It is bringing together celebrated artists and performers across India and across the globe as well for the biggest live concert in India that we've seen, dedicated to the cause of the environment. This is going to have the participation of Grammy Award winner Ricky Tej as well. So details of the concert so far available. It's going to be telecast on the 13th of June, 8 p.m. for you right here on our channel Mirror Now. The artist detail, more lineup of other celebrities will be revealed once again on Mirror Now itself. This is going to be on the 5th of June. This is to mark World Environment Day. So stay on with us with all of those details.